There's quite a remarkable event which takes place the year before Prophet Muhammad dies. The year is 631. Now, it's around this time that different Arab tribes are coming from various parts of the Arabian Peninsula to make agreements with the Prophet and with his new Muslim community in Medina. They come, they enter into a treaty, and then they go back again. Now, the occasion that we need to focus on is a delegation that comes from Nadran. Nadran is south of Mecca, down toward modern-day Yemen. And this delegation is particular because they are Christians. Now, we're told that the Christian delegation comes with their princes, with their judges, and also with their bishops. So a heavyweight delegation comes to the Prophet in Medina, and they meet in his mosque. A very serious discussion takes place, a discussion about the nature of Jesus. And 80 verses of the Qur'an, approximately, are revealed on this occasion. It's the opening verses of the third surah of the Qur'an. And both the Qur'an and the Prophet are correcting this Christian delegation about their understanding of Jesus. And it becomes obviously quite a heated discussion because they don't agree. Now, before we see the final solution of that, this is a really interesting occurrence because Ibn Ishaq in his Sirah tells us that when the Christians came to the time when they wanted to offer their prayers, the Prophet allowed them to pray in his mosque in Medina. So this is a really important sign because although they were having a disagreement about how to understand the person of Jesus, nevertheless, it was clearly agreed between the two groups that they were both worshipping God. So the Quran actually gives guidance for the way in which this discussion should be resolved. There was an ancient tradition, we find it in the Bible as well, that if there was a question of this importance which couldn't be resolved merely by discussion, then the matter should be referred to God. And the way that that was done was that both sides should present their case before God, and they should plead with God, invoke God to curse, to destroy those who were in the wrong. So this was called a mutual cursing, bringing down the wrath of God on those who were telling a lie or those who were in error. This is called the Mubahala, and this is the episode that we need to focus on, especially as regards Imam Ali, but also other members of the Ahl al-Bayt. The agreement is this, that both the Christians and the Prophet will appear the next morning, first thing, and they will bring with them themselves, their women, and their sons. Now, who does that refer to in the case of the Prophet? Themselves? Well, is that the Prophet? Their women? Well, is that one or more of his wives? And their sons? Well, who can that be? Because the Prophet doesn't have any surviving sons. Therefore, we need to look very carefully at what happens the next morning. The Christian delegation arrives, and then they see the prophet coming forward, and with him there are only 4 people. He brings with him Ali, Fatima, and the 2 small children, Hassan and Hussein. Now, in order to understand the significance of this, we need to know that the prophet often referred to Ali as his nafs. Now, nafs has a variety of different meanings, but we can interpret it this way and say his very self. So Ali, his nafs, his very self. And we know that the Mubahala calls you are to bring themselves, Ali. The women, says the verse in the Qur'an. Well, who does Ali bring? Because at this time he has several wives, and he doesn't bring any of them. He only brings his daughter Fatima. And so she becomes the women of this verse of the Qur'an. And then finally, we see that they come with the 2 small boys, Hassan and Hussein. Now, technically, we would say these are the grandsons of Muhammad. But we know that it was very common in that age and society for a grandfather to refer to his grandsons as his sons. It was a term of affection and also a term of closeness. Therefore, you are to bring yourselves, Ali, your women, Fatima, and your sons, Hassan and Hussein. And the 5 together, including the prophet, come forward, and they are to face this mutual cursing with the Christian delegation. Ibn Ishaq tells us that the Christians saw the people that the prophet brought with him, and they understood that these were not only the people who were closest to the prophet, but also that this was, if you like, the entire family of the prophet. And so they thought very carefully, because they said, if the prophet is prepared to risk absolutely everything on the truth of his statement before God, we better think again. And so they went to the prophet and they said, we'd like to call off this mutual cursing. We respect you. We want to live in peace with you. We would like to go back to our own place in Nadran and to live in peace with the community of Medina. And we would be willing to pay in order that there should be a peace treaty, and if necessary, we will defend one another. And what's more, we have so much respect for you as a prophet of God, and also for the message that you have sent, even though we disagree with you in certain ways, certain important ways. We would like you to select one of your wise older people to come down and live with us, so that this person can resolve any questions which are unclear and we cannot resolve them ourselves. We see then this fundamentally important experience, the event in the life of the prophet. He has brought to the occasion his self, Ali, his women, Fatima, and his sons, Hassan and Hussein. And these 5 are to form the Ahl al-Bayt, the household of the Prophet, and they are to have a unique and particular experience, a unique and particular place of importance in the ongoing story of the Muslim community.